Let me ask all three of you to react to what happened with the 12 Republicans who voted against the resolution that would award the Congressional Gold Medal to those officers who protected them during the riots on January 6th. I'm going to name these Republicans, right? They are, and they're all Republicans: Andy Biggs, Thomas Massie, Andy Harris, Lance Gooden, Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Louis Gohmert, Michael Cloud, Andrew S. Clyde, Greg Steube, Bob Good, John Rose. Reportedly, many of them objected to the use of the term insurrectionist in the resolution. What do you make of that? Zerlina, you first.
They don't know what the word insurrection means, I guess. They're not aware of the definition, because what we watched on January 6th was, by definition, an insurrection. And I think that, you know, some of those people bought into the lie that Donald Trump really won the election, and those people were there to stop a democratic process, to overturn the democratic election. That's an insurrection.
Okay.
So I don't know what dictionary they're reading, but it's not the same one the rest of us are reading. And so if they object to the language, that's fine. But I suppose it would be better to have elected officials who would object to the action of storming the Capitol and killing people, including police officers.
You know, we could send about a dozen Merriam-Websters off to the offices and say, hey, check this out, guys. But do you think, Michael, that they're fundraising off of that?
Yeah, of course they are. Of course they are, because they stood on principle. Yeah, what principle? The thing is what it is. And if you can't call the thing what we all know it to be, it says more about you than the rest of us. And the fact of the matter is, yeah, they're fundraising off of it. And just look at that list. Look at who's on that list. All right. So that tells you everything, you know, rats in a corner. And so the idea that you saw what we saw, and I guarantee you half of those folks were cowering their behinds under their desks, hoping those Capitol Hill police would protect their dumb you-know-whats. And yet they now come out on the other side. So, well, we just can't support this because, it uses the word insurrection. And, well, I just can't support that. Like Zerlina said, it's not the word, it's what we saw. It's the action. It's what they did. And if you can't stand up against that, then you don't need to be in the job.
Yeah.
At all.
All right, Kurt, I'm going to give you the last word on this to you.
You know, I never want to hear the myth that the Republican Party is a quote-unquote law and order party ever again. We saw and heard and watched the violent insurrection effort perpetrated by a number of white nationalists. And it speaks volumes that the Republican Party, that there are those there who are doing everything they can to defend and protect these white nationalists. They seem to go to the Ron Johnson school of what happened here on January 6th. You know, Ron Johnson, who said the other day, if these were Black Lives Matter protesters, he would have been afraid, but because they weren't, he wasn't. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about where the Republican Party is on this, and their just complicit efforts to try to whitewash the events of January 6th. And I'll tell you, we're not going to let them do that. We're going to remind them every day that there's a very clear choice in America right now. There is one political party who's for democracy and one party who is not.
There you go. And you bring up Ron Johnson. We certainly had our discussion about that last weekend. Took up a lot of air on the broadcast. Okay, the three of you, always good to see you. Thank you so much. I love having you on, so let's do this again very soon. And before then, you can all catch Zerlina Maxwell's show. Zerlina is weeknights at 6 Eastern on the Peacock streaming channel, The Choice. The travel record set this week that has the CDC worried, plus one more document you might need if you want to fly.